Michael Gambon, Sir Micheal Gambon. I always think of him as Maigret.
Oh, that's right, he was
Maigret.
And I remember him in The Singing Detective, which was an incredible role he played, so powerfully. It sort of slightly annoyed me over the last 24 hours since we learned of his death. At what, the age of 82?
82.
People say, oh, he's best known for his role in Harry Potter, which we're seeing him in there. But actually, he wasn't best known for that. I mean, he's more recently known for that.
It's always your big last role.
I suppose so. But I have never watched the Harry Potter movie that he was in. So I remember him for other things. I mean, he's been a great actor and a great British treasure for a very, very long time.
Let's talk to showbiz reporter Ellie Phillips, who joins us now. Morning, Ellie. Look, someone with a career that he enjoyed. I mean, it's a heck of a legacy to leave us.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 decades doing what he loved, which is absolutely incredible. And, you know, someone who came from a really humble background. He was working class boy, born in Dublin. His mum was a seamstress. His father was an engineer. So he's definitely not an FO baby. And he, you know, treaded the boards. He's not just, we speak about the films he was in, but he was everything, you know. He was screen, he was stage. And once he left school at 15, the interesting thing is he actually went on to become an apprentice toolmaker. He then qualified as an engineer, but after a year of that he was like, you know what, no, my love is acting, my passion is acting. And wow, what a career he went on to have, and how grateful we are that he did follow his dreams and go and do that. He's won 4 BAFTAs, 3 Emmys, 3 Oliviers, Emmys, Tony Award, and that's just absolutely incredible. And you think about his back catalogue of work. It's interesting what you say there, Anne, because I think everyone who knows him will have a different film or a production they've seen him in that will resonate the most with them and say, wow, I saw him in that, he was incredible. And I think a testament to his ability as an actor is that you never once heard a bad review. You often hear of actors now like, wow, I shouldn't have done that film, they were awful in that. You just don't get that with him. Everything he turned his hand to, he did with, you know, such just exceptional talent, while the whole time throughout his career being very, very humble. You know, the tributes are pouring in for him, and the overwhelming kind of sentiments coming across is how funny he was, how, you know, down to earth he was, a bit mischievous, a bit naughty, but just great fun to be around. And I think in terms of his personality, what he was like to work with, it really is that saying is, you don't remember what someone said, you remember how someone made you feel. And he clearly made all those around him feel absolutely incredible, even though he was the absolute top of his game. And that's just amazing.
It is lovely, actually. I mean, despite my previous comments that we know him for some other work that he did, it is lovely that Harry Potter was able to give really serious, staunch actors like him a sort of rebirth. So many actors are now known to a younger generation because of Harry Potter.
Absolutely. I mean, his role, Albus Dumbledore, I find it a really interesting role that he took on because he's essentially the big dog. He's, you know, the head of the school. And even when he played that character, there was, again, a humbleness that came through that character that I think reflected him as a person in real life. And what's so lovely and so touching is that the tributes that have come through from people who were on that with him, for example, Daniel Radcliffe, you know, he said he was brilliant, effortless. Emma Watson's tribute, she played Hermione, is beautiful. She said he showed us what it's like to wear greatness lightly. And I remember watching all of them talk about what it was like to work with all these icons that they got to work with on Harry Potter, and saying how it was really humbling and inspiring for them to be with people who treated them as equals, even though obviously they have 30, 40, 50 years in the business, and then these youngsters were coming through it for the first time. And I think Harry Potter, the films, did give these actors something they could work on for many, you know, different installments, and create these amazing relationships behind the scene, and show their talents on screen at the same time. So I think it was great, and he definitely loved it. And other actors have said that it didn't matter what production he was in, what film he was working on, he treated them all the same. He had fun on set, and then when the cameras were rolling, he was absolutely on the money.
Ellie, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Lovely
Nigel and Claire still here. I mean, he was one of those actors that everyone, whatever you liked him from, there was a definite warmth to him somehow.
There was, and I think it's really interesting when you look at the Harry Potter movies and the success of those. His comments were, well, I just put on a really big beard and went out and was myself. And you just think it's that kind of nature. He didn't think he was doing anything great, but he just came across as the ultimate star that he is. But he wasn't grand with it. He was really quite humble, as Ellie has just said. But it's also his stage work. And when I was studying Shakespeare for A-level, he was in King Lear, and he brought something out of that I perhaps hadn't seen when I read the text. And I think it's those kind of actors that we don't see enough of. The stage work that he had, the craft that he had, with a piece of text which is quite complicated and quite complex, he made it accessible. And I think that is a real tribute to him.
Yeah.